For the Obama administration's response, we're joined now by Tammy Duckworth, an assistant secretary at the VA, who knows all about veterans issues. She lost both legs during a mission as a helicopter pilot in Iraq. And Secretary Duckworth, welcome to Fox News Sunday.
Thanks for having me on, Chris.
I want to ask you about the worksheet, page 21 in the VA booklet. You're a hero who, despite severe injuries, lives a full life, but you have to get around some of the time in a wheelchair yourself. Do you have any problem with the VA asking elderly veterans whether life is worth living if they have a disability, if they live in a nursing home, if they're unable to shake the blues?
Well, I have to say, Chris, that this is a really important discussion because when I was in Iraq and I was injured, thank goodness I had an advance directive, that I had both a living will and a medical power of attorney that my husband was able to use to really execute my wishes. And I don't think that anybody values life more than somebody such as myself or those of us who work at VA, who've been in combat, who knows what it's like to be given a second choice. I think that any worksheet that any veteran wants to use that helps him make those decisions in advance for his family members so that they know what your wishes are, that you do want your life prolonged, that you do want to be resuscitated. Those are all important. And VA is very happy for veterans to use any booklet that they would like. This booklet was used throughout the Bush administration under two secretaries. But if veterans want to go out, and we provide it free of charge, there are many other free of charge booklets that are out there. If they want to go and spend $5 a piece and buy Mr. Towey's book, they're welcome to do that. And that all falls under VA's advance directive policy, which was put into place by President Bush.
If I may, Ms. Duckworth, because we have limited time here,
sure.
Why would a question, I can understand questions about if you're in an irreversible coma, do you want us to pull the plug? But why, as I asked Mr. Towey, why would you even have a question in an end-of-life counseling book about if you're in a wheelchair, if you're living in a nursing home, does that make life worth living?
Well, I know that before I was injured, I certainly let my husband know that, you know, being in a wheelchair was something that I feared and I was afraid for, but that I also wanted my life prolonged. This is a tool. This is a simple tool that was put into place, as I said, under Secretary Nicholson. It was something that was used throughout. And let me make a correction. We've not used it since 2007 when under the Bush administration, we decided to go ahead and revise it. This checklist is still under revision on a timetable according to a program that was actually decided on under the previous administration, because I know that President Bush and Secretary Nicholson and Secretary Peake all valued life, and that's what we're doing is we're revising it. It'll be out in 2010. It's not yet out. So Mr. Towey was not correct.
Secretary Duckworth, that's just not true. The VHA put out a directive on July 2nd, 2009, and I want to put up 2 pages from that directive. The first one, page 8. Primary care practitioners are responsible for giving patients pertinent educational materials, e.g., refer patients to the Your Life, Your Choices module. And on page 9 it says if they request more information, patients may be directed to the exercises in Your Life, Your Choices. So as of July 2nd, 2009, last month, more than a month ago, VA health practitioners were told to refer all veterans, not just end-of-life veterans, but all 24 million veterans, to this document, Your Life, Your Choices.
Let me make a correction there, Chris. What our practitioners were told is to refer patients to any type of a tool. They can use Mr. Towey's if they want to spend the $5 a piece. VA simply was not willing to buy his booklet at $5 per veteran at the time. This was a decision that was made by the previous administration.
It doesn't say give them access to anything. I mean, in the specific VA booklet, it's only about 15 pages long, it specifically refers to this booklet twice.
The only directive that is out there is actually left over from, I believe it was beginning of 2007, it's our advanced planning directive put into place, and it is actually very clear in saying that we need to provide veterans with information that they can make on how they want their care. You know, this ultimately is about the care and health care for veterans. And we're actually expanding benefits for veterans. We're actually trying to get more Priority 8 veterans to sign up for VA benefits. We estimate it will be another 500,000 veterans coming in for benefits. We are expanding VA benefits to veterans. It is in our best interest to make sure that every veteran out there receives the care and access to the treatments and everything that he needs. Because after all, these are the men and women who fought for us and they deserve nothing less than the best care.
Secretary, well, we certainly agree on that. Secretary Duckworth, when you look at the workbook now on your website, as you point out, there's a disclaimer there. We're going to put the disclaimer that is now on the website if you go to the Your Life, Your Choices link. And it says, the document is currently undergoing revision for release in VA. The revised version will be available soon. But when the VA first reinstated the document a month ago, 6 weeks ago, it sent veterans directly there, as you can see in the screen grab. I guess the question I have is, why, Secretary Duckworth, did the disclaimer about the book only appear this week after Mr. Tuohy's article appeared in the Wall Street Journal?
Actually, that disclaimer has been there since 2007 when we pooled.
Well, it wasn't there before August 20th. Between July 2nd and August 20th, the disclaimer was not on the website because we checked.
Chris, the disclaimer has been at the beginning of the Your Life, Your Choice booklet since 2007 when the Bush administration decided to pull it off and revise it on an established time schedule.
The record doesn't show that.
But you can go on the website. Now, we have many things on our website. They're up there because they receive federal dollars. They're public research grants. We have to keep them on our website. But I will tell you that this booklet has not been in use. It was pulled off the shelves in 2007. We very clearly told all of our medical practitioners not to use it because it was under revision. And this is ultimately, again, let's bring this back to a talk.
Ms. Duckworth, I don't want to argue with you, but the facts are that it wasn't in use from 2007 until July 2nd of 2009, when in the VHA handbook you specifically reinstated it and specifically told healthcare practitioners to refer veterans to it.
Chris, it has not been reinstated. Let me make it clear. The only advance directive that we have is dated February of 2007, and it actually encourages veterans to use any type of tool or checklist that they would like to. There are many, many good ones out there. This Your Life, Your Choice is widely used out there, not just within VA. There are many others that are out there, and veterans are free to use whatever they would like to use. We just urge them to use them.
I have a problem here, and so too often on these shows we just say one person said and another person said. Secretary Duckworth, I don't know if we're able in the control room to put up the full screen of the VHA directive, but I'd like you to put up the first full screen if you can. In the VHA directive of July 2nd, 2009, it says the following on page 8. Primary care practitioners are responsible for giving patients pertinent educational materials, e.g., refer patients to the Your Life, Your Choices module. I mean, it's just there in black and white on the VHA directive of July 2nd.
Chris, I'm sorry, I can't see that on the monitor in here. I will tell you that I know for a fact that the only directive signed by Secretary Shinseki, signed by a VA secretary, was actually signed by Secretary Nicholson, and it's dated February of 2007. What you're looking at may not actually be a directive. So since I can't see it, I'd be happy to come back and discuss it with you. But let's talk about what VA is trying to do. We have the largest increase in our budget in over 30 years. We are going to be expanding access to veterans. We are working with the new GI Bill for the 21st century. We are fighting to end homelessness, and we are doing quite a lot for veterans. And I don't think that there's anybody that understands better the importance and value of life than those of us who've worn the uniform and faced combat.
I apologize. We're running out of time. I want to ask you one last question. If you feel so strongly about the value of life, although the disclaimer is on there, this document, Your Life, Your Choices, is still on the VA website. Secretary Duckworth, while it's supposedly being revised, it's still up there. Can you promise us that this will be taken down today?
It is still up there with the disclaimer that it's under revision and do not use it. It
doesn't say don't use it, but why have it up there at all? Why not just say we're going to take it down?
Because we are bound by federal law. It was developed with federal research grant monies, and all of our programs that were results of federal research grants are online for people to use for research purposes. But we very clearly tell all of our veterans, please use any type of a tool that is most suitable for you and your loved ones. And you can certainly, there are many great ones out there, including Mr. Tuohy's, if they want to go spend the $5 for it a piece. VA makes ours available for free. The checklist that we're actually using is a completely different checklist from this one because this one has been taken off for revision.
Well, it hasn't been taken off. It's being revised, but it's still on the website. Secretary Duckworth, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for giving us the VA's response. And we also personally want to thank you for your service to our nation, ma'am.
It was my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
If you want to read the VA book for yourself, you'll find a link at our blog, foxnewssunday.com. And we will stay on this story of end-of-life counseling for our veterans.